We often admire people like Elon Musk and Bill Gates for their intelligence and accomplishments, but what truly sets them apart is not just what they know, but how they learn. Both are examples of self-driven, lifelong learners who have developed powerful habits and strategies that anyone can learn from. In this lesson, we'll explore the learning techniques they use, why they're effective, and how you can apply them to your own studies. 1. Elon Musk, learning from first principles. Elon Musk is widely recognized as a visionary entrepreneur who has mastered fields as diverse as software, aerospace, artificial intelligence, and renewable energy. What sets him apart is not just his ambition, but the way he learns. One of Musk's most powerful learning strategies is called first principles thinking. This approach comes from physics and involves breaking down complicated problems into their most fundamental truths, then reasoning up from there, almost like rebuilding knowledge from scratch. Instead of learning by analogy, which means copying how others do things, Musk questions everything. What do I absolutely know is true? What are the basic principles at play? Can this be done differently from the ground up? This mindset helps him avoid assumptions, discover new solutions, and understand subjects on a much deeper level than surface memorization allows. For example, when Musk started SpaceX, he didn't rely solely on what aerospace engineers told him. He studied physics, engineering, and chemistry on his own. Then, he asked questions like, why are rockets so expensive? What materials are really required? Could we build this for less if we rethink the entire process? That's how SpaceX ended up designing affordable, reusable rockets that disrupted an entire industry. In daily learning, applying first principles means not just accepting information at face value. When studying a subject, you ask, what is the core idea or principle behind this? Why does this work the way it does? Can I explain this from the ground up? Are there better, simpler ways to understand or solve this? This approach is incredibly powerful because it helps you master concepts at their root, rather than relying on memorized procedures or second-hand explanations. It also encourages independent thinking, problem-solving, and creativity, skills that are essential in both academics and real-world innovation. In short, Elon Musk's success as a learner comes from his commitment to understanding how things actually work, not just how people say they work. By questioning assumptions and rebuilding knowledge from the basics, he's able to see what others miss, and that's a mindset anyone can start building, one question at a time. 2. Bill Gates. The power of deep reading. Bill Gates is not only one of the world's most successful entrepreneurs, he's also one of its most dedicated lifelong learners. At the core of his learning strategy is something simple but powerful: reading deeply and deliberately. While many people read casually or for entertainment, Gates treats reading as a serious learning practice. He reads about 50 books every year and often chooses complex, challenging topics in science, history, technology, economics, and public health. What makes Gates a master learner isn't just the volume of books he reads, but how he reads them. He's an active reader. That means he doesn't just turn pages, he engages with the content, underlining key points, writing notes in the margins, asking questions, and pausing often to reflect. He's known to take handwritten notes as he reads, a method that forces deeper thinking and makes information easier to retain. Gates also creates distraction-free time for reading. He often blocks out hours in his schedule just to read, no phone, no email, no multitasking. This focus on deep work allows him to absorb difficult material with full attention, something that's becoming increasingly rare in today's digital world. Another powerful habit Gates follows is to connect new ideas to what he already knows. He doesn't just consume information, he builds mental frameworks and compares what he's learning now to things he's read in the past. This makes his learning richer, more layered, and easier to apply in real-world situations. Finally, Gates strengthens his understanding by summarizing what he learns, either through writing, interviews, or by teaching it to others. This process of rephrasing and explaining helps him retain knowledge and think critically about how it fits into the bigger picture. So, what can we learn from Gates? Read consistently, and make time for it, even just 30 focused minutes a day. Choose high-quality, challenging content that expands your thinking. Take notes, underline, pause, and reflect as you read. Apply what you learn by writing about it or teaching it to someone else. Treat reading not as a task to finish, but as a tool for lifelong growth. In short, Bill Gates reminds us that deep, focused reading is one of the most powerful tools for learning, and it's accessible to everyone. You don't need a genius IQ to be a great learner. You just need curiosity, discipline, and the willingness to slow down and truly engage with what you read. 3. What do they have in common? Although Elon Musk and Bill Gates have very different personalities, careers, and learning styles, they share several core learning principles that explain why they're both exceptionally effective learners. These habits go beyond intelligence. They reflect a mindset of curiosity, intentionality, and active engagement with knowledge. First, both Musk and Gates are relentlessly curious. They don't wait for someone to tell them what to learn. They seek out information because they genuinely want to understand the world better. Whether it's space engineering or global health, they dive into complex topics because they're driven by questions, not just goals. This curiosity fuels a lifelong habit of learning and prevents burnout because the motivation comes from within. Second, they both practice deep focus and avoid shallow, surface-level learning. Musk uses first principles to dig into the foundations of an idea, while Gates sets aside uninterrupted time to read and reflect. Neither of them relies on quick summaries, short videos, or social media content to learn something deeply. Instead, they commit time and mental energy to understanding how things work. Another key similarity is their use of cross-disciplinary thinking. Musk learns from physics, software, and biology, and combines them to solve new problems. Gates reads books from many fields, building a mental library of ideas that help him see patterns across disciplines. This ability to connect knowledge from different domains is what allows them to innovate and think creatively, rather than simply repeat what others have done. They also both value teaching and explaining as a form of learning. Musk simplifies complex concepts until he can explain them clearly, much like the Feynman technique, and Gates often writes, discusses, or reflects on what he's learned. This act of translating knowledge into simple language reinforces understanding and reveals gaps in memory. Finally, both men have developed systems to make learning a habit. For Gates, it's a daily reading routine. For Musk, it's a habit of breaking down every new topic into core principles and learning systematically. Learning isn't something they do when they have free time, it's a central part of their daily life. In short, what Elon Musk and Bill Gates have in common is a shared approach to learning that combines curiosity-driven exploration,
deep focus and time investment, thinking across disciplines,
explaining as a form of mastering, learning systems that support consistency. These are habits that anyone can build, with time, intention, and the right mindset. 4. How you can learn like them. You don't need to be a billionaire or a tech genius to learn like Elon Musk or Bill Gates. The powerful learning habits they've developed are not the result of rare talent, but of intentional practice and discipline. By adopting even a few of their strategies, you can dramatically improve the way you learn, solve problems, and retain information. The first and most important step is to cultivate curiosity. Don't wait for teachers, assignments, or deadlines to tell you what to learn. Ask yourself, what do I genuinely want to understand better? Whether it's psychology, programming, or history, follow your interest and let it lead you. Curiosity is the engine behind deep, self-motivated learning, and it's something both Musk and Gates prioritize every day.
Next, practice deep focus and distraction-free learning.
Block out time each day, even just 30 minutes, to study without your phone, notifications, or multitasking. Like Gates, create a quiet environment where you can read, think, and take notes with full attention. This deep work approach trains your brain to process information more thoroughly and makes learning more meaningful. Try adopting first principles thinking in your learning process.
Don't just memorize information. Break it down.
Ask, what is this really saying? What are the basic building blocks of this idea? Rebuild your understanding from the ground up, just like Musk does. This forces you to go beyond surface-level knowledge and helps you develop a flexible, problem-solving mindset. Another powerful strategy is to teach back what you learn. After reading a chapter or watching a lesson, try to explain it in your own words, as if you were teaching it to a 10-year-old. This method reveals what you truly understand and where you need to review. Writing summaries, creating flashcards, or making short videos are great ways to practice this. Also, think cross-disciplinarily. Don't limit yourself to one subject. Like Musk and Gates, read widely and connect ideas from different fields. Learning how biology overlaps with psychology, or how history influences economics, can help you see patterns and innovate in ways others don't. Finally, Make learning a daily habit, not a one-time event. Block out regular time in your calendar to read, review notes, and reflect on what you've learned. Even small, consistent sessions add up to massive progress over time. Use apps like Notion, Anki, or a simple notebook to track your progress and capture ideas. The most successful learners don't just absorb information, they engage with it deeply, question it, and apply it in creative ways. Elon Musk and Bill Gates show us that lifelong learning is about being intentional, curious, and disciplined. By adopting their habits, like learning from first principles, reading deeply, and thinking across subjects, you can develop a mindset that leads to not just better grades, but lasting, flexible knowledge that helps you succeed in any field.